I'm just setting off again. It's been quite busy here actually. Boats have passed in each direction. In fact, just as I was trying to cast off, a boat came down past me, and then I tried again and another boat came up the other way, which is now in front of me. Well, it's a lovely afternoon. It's getting a bit windy. There are some dark clouds in the sky, but they just don't seem as threatening as they did earlier. Generally, there's quite a lot of blue sky about and fluffy white clouds. We're coming up to where a dismantled railway crosses the canal. It was here last year on my way to Banbury that we had a set to with another boat. It's quite a sharp corner, this one, and as we came round last year, a boat suddenly appeared well into the middle of the canal and forced us across to hit the bank. It is usual to travel down the centre line of the canal, but if you're on a sharp bend, you've got to think about other users and the possibility of someone coming towards you, and that didn't happen. Oh, this is really lovely. I think I deserve this after what happened this morning. As a reminder, that was the torrential downpour at Braunston. Hiya. Pretty good. I passed this one this morning coming towards me in Braunston. It's coming through a bridge. We can get a better view of it now. This is what often happens. You pass a boat one way, then you pass it another way, then you overtake it when they moor up, and they overtake you when you moor up. So you keep seeing the same people quite often. The water is quite choppy. The wind is whipping it up. Well, the sun has clouded over, so it seems a little bit bleak at the moment, but there are still blue skies around. We're coming up to a winding point on the other side of this bridge. You can see how the canal widens out. It's got very windy. I feel as though I'm battling all the time. I'm about 2.5 miles from the Napton Lock flight, which I intend to tackle tomorrow. So I'm now going to be looking for somewhere to moor up, hopefully with some suitable armco. which I find so much easier than using mooring pins. This sort of edging is no good at all for mooring against. I might moor up along here. This is where I've moored. There's a reasonably noisy road alongside, but I'm sure it will be okay. Well, I've now moored up for the day. I've been travelling for about 6.5 hours, which I think is quite sufficient. I'm about 2 miles or so from Napton Locks, which I'll be going through tomorrow when I'm fresh in the morning, and then I'll see from there. My intention was to go a little way beyond the locks and then turn and come back, but we'll see how time goes. I'm just having a cream tea without the tea, just the scone. Delicious. Oh, good morning. It's a bright and sunny morning, although there is a chill. I'm just over 2 miles from Napton Locks. Quite a few boats have passed heading in that direction, so I can imagine there'll be a bit of a queue to go through when I get there. And some boats have come the other way. So I'm just about to set off and look forward to joining me on my journey. I was all ready to set off, sort of underway, and I'd forgot to put the tiller arm on. Anyway, these things happen, soon remedied. Morning. The turning to the right just now was the continuation of the Grand Union. I've now, by carrying on in a straight line, come on to the Oxford Canal. So my comment earlier about all boats heading to Napton was wrong. This is Napton Marina. It was from here that I hired a boat to make sure I enjoyed boating before I bought this boat. Had a very eventful weekend. It was most interesting. Just past 3 lads having a rest. They've been cutting the grass on the towpath. They've got a special mowing machine to help them with that. We're passing the site of a former brickworks that was established in the mid-1800s and lasted well into about the 1970s, I think it was, from recollection. Note the bridge over the canal on the left side of the image. This is Brickyard Bridge coming up. The one in the picture. It's actually very windy. It's getting difficult to control the boat at times. I'm very close to the locks now. Just spoken to another boater and he says there are about 3 lock keepers on duty, which would be very handy. I hadn't actually thought about that, because when I came through here last year there weren't any lock keepers, as I recall. Had to do it all ourselves. That's a nuisance. There's a boat in front of me now. They've opened the gate so he can go straight in. That'll save a bit of time. This is what I'm moored up against. Looks like some form of dense plastic edging. Filming going through the locks is not always very easy when there's lots of people around. By that I mean other boaters, because you don't want to hold anyone up. I like to sort of stop and take a bit of film and so forth, and I realise that when it's busy you are delaying other boaters, so I try to avoid that. I'm not sure what sort of quality film I've taken today, so I'll spend some while going through that and you'll see the results. Along here many of the locks look pretty much the same, so we'll see what I've got anyway. Try and make it interesting for you. I'm just waiting for a boat to come out of the lock, then I'll be going in. Morning. Well, that's the first lock dealt with fairly quickly, which is very pleasing. Just coming up to the next lock, the gates are closed. Can't actually tell if there's a boat in it or not. I'll have to moor up and go and check the position. I'm emptying the lock so I can open the gates and then take the boat in. This lock appears to have had some recent repair works undertaken. It's lovely to have some help from other boaters, as this means I don't need to stop and shut the gate once I've left the lock.
Want me to jump off, give you a hand?
And now more help, just wonderful.
Thank you.
Should be okay for the next one, so there's somebody coming down.
Ah, yes, it's ready, isn't it? Oh. Good night. Hello. I think the next lock might actually be empty because the last boat through came down as far as I'm aware.
There is actually a boat in the lock, hence I need to wait. I've been really lucky today with the help I've had. It does make life a lot easier.
You can see the weather has got a little bit darker and there are some threatening clouds now.
Looks like the canal is 2 or 3 inches below its normal level.
But on this trip I'm going as far as the old engine arm and I'm not far from that now. I've got one more lock to do. Done 6 locks just now. As I say, there's one more lock to do, and then beyond that is a little branch called the old engine arm. I'm going to turn round there, then hopefully moor up and have some lunch, and at some stage I'll start making my way back. Well, there's a boat in the lock which is coming down. That's good. They'll be able to leave the gates open for me. blowing up quite a bit and I need to do my turn, so that's a bit worrying. I'm taking it nice and easy, so I don't want to overshoot.
The old engine house was a pumping station which drew water from a spring to top up the canal.
Well, success in making the turn. I'm going to go back through the last lock I came up, and then I'm going to moor up for a short while.
Just waiting for a boat to exit the lock, and now I'm in.
Well, I've just been through 8 locks. That was 7 locks in a southerly direction. I then turned the boat, headed back northwards and came through another lock. I'm now stopped for lunch. Need to get something inside me. It has been very windy, there's a bit of a chill. I don't think any rain is expected until later today, but it's not a very pleasant day. Doing these single locks has been quite interesting. They're a lot easier than the double locks and they're not so deep. So I've found going up in these locks quite easy. But let's face it, I've had a lot of help today. A real lot of help. But nevertheless, I have been getting up on the roof and climbing up. It is pretty straightforward to get from the boat onto the lock side. So that hasn't fazed me at all. So I think up or down with these single locks it's been fine, so not a problem at all. As you go through the locks you sort of lose track of time and how many locks have you been through. Is this the 4th or is this the 5th? I expect most boaters feel that. They sort of think, well, how many have we actually done? It can get rather confusing. So I'm going to stop for a little while and I'm going to get underway again. I'm going to go down the locks now on the way through once I restart, and then I'll be looking to moor up somewhere. Not looking for a long day today, just want to get some food now. Cheers, catch up with you later.